call this administrative meeting of the City Council of Ozark to order. If you have not done so already, please sign in the back of the room. And at this time, I'll request that you put your phones on vibrate or silent. Our first order of business this evening is to review the agenda for the 5:30 p.m. So after a call to order and prayer and pledge of allegiance, we will review the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on May 21st, 2024. Council members, do you have any questions about those minutes?
No.
Item number 4 is to set the agenda itself. Item number 5 is an Ozark City Board of Education board appointment. Mayor, would you like to speak on that?
Yes, I think some of y'all have mentioned that you would love to table that, and we'd also like to set a meeting where we meet with the school board. Of course, we'll have to advertise that and have to be a public meeting. So if y'all want me just to reach out to them, of course, y'all will have to, I guess, make a motion to do that, but add it to the agenda. But I can reach out to the superintendent and ask him to give us some dates and we try to put something together.
Okay, council members, do you have any comments on item number 5?
I just say when we do go through that, the people that are interested in serving on the board, and have them maybe turn in a resume and then a letter, telling why they would want to serve on the Ozark City School Board, and just to, help us in making a decision down the road for that.
I agree. I think that would be extremely beneficial.
Do we want to have them here?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Don't do that like we did before.
I say just we can all get a copy of their resumes and their things, and then we can make a motion whenever the following meeting.
I'd like to make sure I put a face with the people though. That's my main thing. Some of them might not know who we're talking about.
Okay.
That's fine.
Following tradition, because we're about at the end of our term. It's never been the case of a resume and what did you say?
A letter.
But now, the one recommendation that I had, I did have about of the individual that I provided. The only questions I have about the land is that normally in June, that's the month that the school board members attend their annual meeting.
I think it's later this year.
It's later this year.
It's later this year. Okay, normally it's been in June. That's the reason
So
why.
even if we were to delay to the next meeting and appoint at that point in time, the newly appointed member would still be able to attend
That's correct.
the school board member
Do you
orientation.
know the date?
I do not, I can request, or
I think I have, yeah.
The only thing I have to say to tradition is that in the 3 school board members that we've appointed, we've done them all separately. We did just a regular appointment, we've done come in and give a speech, and so there's not really, at least for me in my tenure,
I
there's
don't
not
have a
traditions.
problem with that as far as being present. So they don't want to be present, not
It
necessarily.
doesn't matter.
Okay, so does that mean that item number 5 you would want to table to next meeting? And then the other point that the mayor said is, do we want to allow him to set up a meeting and then us just give him dates so that we would have to, because we would have to publicize a meeting because it would be a quorum of us and a quorum of them as well. So how do we want to be able to set up or choose dates for that meeting?
I think we let him handle it.
Yeah, just let him
Get
get
it
it
together
together.
and then get rid of something. We don't have to do it, I would think, before the next meeting. How many days have to be advertised?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, so we can't do it yet. Have to be the first meeting in July.
I don't see it right now, brother, but we did have time.
Yeah.
A special call meeting is 3 days, isn't it?
A special call meeting? I know a special call meeting in the school board is still 7, I believe, isn't it? 7.
But a council meeting is special.
Just let him
check.
All right. Item number 6 is a tree board appointment. Mayor, would you like to speak on that?
Yes, we had talked about putting Victoria Ham That's the lady that does most of our landscape work downtown, and Ryan had recommended that.
Council members, do we have any additional comments on item number 6?
She does a wonderful job.
Does this leave it as a 5-member board, or are we increasing it to 6? We're right, we should be
Ryan's
replacing
coming
that?
off, yes.
Yes, that's the switch. Item number 7 is an authorization for the mayor to execute a grant with the Alabama Tourism Department for the Crawdad Festival. Mayor, would you like to speak on that one?
Yes, it's a $13,000 grant, something we have received in the past, and it comes through our Alabama legislation.
Okay. Council members, do you have any questions for the mayor on that authorization?
Thankful for it.
Okay. Item number 8 is an authorization for the mayor to execute a grant with ADECA for the ADA playground. Mayor, would you like to speak on that one?
Sure, that is a $100,000 grant. It was actually put into this year's budget and is funneled through the DECA. And we're working on that paperwork and ready to go. We thank Steve Klaus for that.
Yes, I did. I reached out to him as soon as I heard that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Council members, do you have any additional questions or comments on the authorization of that?
The only problem I have, I'd like to see, I know this is all devoted to Steve, all right? Okay, and in some future time, if we can see about 88 at our other part, over in that part.
Okay. Item number 9 is a resolution, a grant with ADECA for the tennis courts. Mayor, would you like to speak on that one?
Yes, I think this is the third time we've done this resolution. And from the first time to this time, the cost of this project's going up $154,191. That is not our fault. We can't seem to get the paperwork. But I think we have it this time, so we're ready to get that deal.
Okay. Council members, do you have any questions for the mayor on that one?
Mayor,
How much is that supposed to be?
It's 130,
130.
no,
No.
okay, I'm sorry, getting mixed up. This one's $892,000, and we have to pay 50% of it.
okay. Mayor, back when we talked about this the first time, which has been a while back, I understand that. You had mentioned that when we were doing the tennis courts at Stegall, and that we were applying for a grant for that purpose, and we would also take care of the asphalt in disrepair over and there. So my point is, how would that filter in with this grant?
Well, it couldn't be in with this grant. We'll have to do that with another pot of money.
See, that's what we were not told. The point was that we were gonna do both at the same time.
Well, no, you can't do it with this money.
That's the problem I'm having with it. Why wasn't it included? Because we knew we had asphalt in disrepair at both parts.
Because this particular grant was applied for specifically for those tennis courts.
And I seem to recall us talking about, since we got the new asphalt pavers, that was a small project, that we were able to handle that in-house as material became available.
Mayor, is that the point, that we'll handle it in-house over there? Because the asphalt is really just chipped away down there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Ryan's not here, I don't believe, but,
But we've let it linger from the time, I remember you asked me to go attend an event down there, when the pickleball first opened up. Open Ever was having an event down there, and I took pictures. They were passed around at the council about the asphalt being so bad. That's been in our first year of this term.
and we did a bunch of work down there, we just couldn't get to the
But
asphalt.
never did get to the asphalt. That's what I'm having a problem with. I mean, I could understand if we could have included it in the grant. Even if it went up to our match being 500,000, or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's to
But
take.
this particular grant was extremely difficult. We're lucky we're able to get.
Understood.
You can't mix projects either, I don't think either.
But that's what we were
Thanks
told.
for it.
That's
Thanks
how-
for what he's saying. you couldn't have both of them on the same grant.
Only point I'm making is that the mayor said that we would take care of, when we did the tennis courts over there, we'd take care of the one down there as well. That's my only point.
Projects are in order. It's, you can only do one thing at a time.
So,
It wasn't explained like that the whole time. That's my only problem.
I'd have to pull the minutes, I'm not sure. I seem to remember that we were talking about it project for project, one at a time as funds were available. And I do know that grants have been applied for ADA equipment at Open Everett from our local legislators. I submitted 2 of them myself.
Now, we're talking about asphalt now.
No, I'm
for
talking,
tennis
but I
courts.
wanted to address that point as well, the ADA at Open Everett.
And I did on
And the
that
asphalt.
previously when we talked about the ADA.
It takes time.
okay, so Mayor, can we look and see
We
what
can
it would
Let
cost?
Ryan look at it
For
and get
that.
the price work up for him.
Thank you. Okay, item number 10 is to approve, adjust, or decline the renewal of the contract with the Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce. Mayor, would you like to speak on that?
Yes, what happened on this was, right at a year ago, when we moved the chamber into the Holman House, we put together an agreement between the city and the chamber, outlining the responsibilities of the chamber and that kind of thing. And it says on here that it would automatically renew at the end of 1 year, as long as both parties agree. And when we did this, we were in hopes that they would be moving out of that building, selling, renting, doing something to have less cost. We were hoping we would be able to reduce this $36,000 that we pay them every year by some amount, because they would be, you know, we're paying the utilities, we're paying the insurance, we're paying all that kind of stuff. Well, the chamber board has been hesitant to sell. They are trying to rent it now. So we're pretty much in the same position we were. They still have the same bills they had, except for a few. They were able to turn a few things off. So we just need to decide what we want to do.
So what is your recommendation? That we move forward, or that we?
My recommendation is to leave it like it is until we do something with that chamber building. And, you know, I would love to cut the cost, but we've also, since we put Rosemary there, we've also increased what we're asking Rosemary to do. I mean, just like today, she's managing the farmer's market. There's a lot of other events there that, you know, she's doing at the Holman House as well.
Council members, do
Of
you
course, I
have
don't
any?
know, you know, it's hard to run that chamber with any less money than they're receiving right there. I've been on the board numerous years. I'm not on it right now, but I just can't see cutting, especially this time. Rosemary runs it almost by herself. She's got a little bit of part-time help. I don't see how she gets done what she does, especially when she has to put on clay bank and all these other things she does. I mean, they do pageants, they do, you just don't realize how much work she does unless you go down there and watch her.
Okay. Any council members?
Are we taking into consideration the letter that we received from Oliver Kingsley
I assume so.
concerning the deficiencies
I
of the
assume
Holman
so.
House?
Yes, that stuff is being addressed.
Okay. Council members?
I don't want to, I wouldn't want to cut them either.
Okay.
I wouldn't either.
All right, item number 11, for the static display of the M68 through tank. Mayor?
Okay, we have all the paperwork, like everything else when you deal with the government, there's lots of paperwork, but one part of it was this resolution, and we're working on getting all that back together. But one thing that we have got to put in the paperwork when we return it is where we want it to be displayed. We're thinking at the entrance sign on the north side of town or the south side, or at the military mural there on Andrews. I think the majority of the people would like it there at the tech center. That way, somebody wants to pull up and look at it, they can actually park there at the tech center and get out and walk out to it. We're also working on, Heather's doing some research on getting one of the large historic signs that you see everywhere that tells, all about it. The National Guard Armory here was in 2 different locations. One was right behind the jail, and then where it is now. So we want to do one sign that kind of covers that whole history and display it there.
Okay. All right, any questions for the mayor on the display?
When you say the tech center in the north side of town,
The one where the Dale County Tech Center, Dale County Schools Tech Center.
oh,
Yeah, there's one sign up on the north side of town. We could put it there.
yeah,
And then the one on the south side is right in front of the business incubator.
where it used to be.
Any other questions for the mayor on this item? Item number 12 is airport improvement funding assistance from ALDOT. So, Ms. Denise, would you like to come and speak on that?
Sure. That is our airport infrastructure grant that we get every year from ALDOT, and that money is being rolled back into our corporate hangar. So it's already been, we agree that that's where that money would go.
Yes. Council members, do you have any questions for Denise on that one?
What is the amount of that?
144,000.
Thank you.
Yes. Item number 13 is an authorization for the mayor to sign the contract for the corporate hangar lease.
I met with them today. The corporate hangar will be leased to Bondi's for Fred Marshall that owns Bondi's, and he is requesting a 5-year lease. So we normally do 1 year, but he wanted the security of a 5-year, and we've written the lease, so in the 5 years, we have the terms, we have the option to renegotiate.
Council members, do you have any questions for Denise on the authorization for that?
Are they leasing the whole thing or just part of it?
They are leasing the whole hangar, however, they have another company, I think it's AMX, that is potentially going to put a jet in with them. But the lease will be only to Bondi's.
But they're getting the whole thing.
Yes.
And the reason we wanted to do it that way is we don't want to get in the business of having to move aircraft. We don't have the manpower to do it on the equipment. So,
Or the liability.
that's a plus side of it. And to follow up on that, we're in the process, I think I sent it out to y'all, of showing the out partials that are around that. We're showing it from a top view, so it shows Bondi's there, shows the building that Denise and them are in, and it shows 4 possible land lease spots for someone else to build a hangar. We've already had one person very interested in that, and he's still in the military, or he would probably be doing it, so.
Well, and the pilot seems to think when Bondi's comes, other will want to.
Okay.
How many bays are in that hangar?
I mean, bays, it's just one.
Just one,
It's
just
a
one.
100 by 100, wide open.
So if we leased it out to multiple entities, what would we have been looking at?
We were never going to do that because we assume the liability when we do that. And the liability of jets is high. So,
But the other hangar we got down there, what are we getting rent-wise out of it?
the other ones are T hangers, and those go for 185 and 225. But there's 20 of those.
In other words, he's getting a good deal.
He is getting it,
For $3,800
yeah.
per month.
Yeah, plus patient.
But I will tell you, Enterprise is in the process of building one, and I know that Marion, Florida awarded one last week that is a similar hangar. So,
Thank you, Denise. Item number 14 is to confirm the cost of a weed lien at 199 Magnolia Street. So Brad and Matthew, would y'all like to speak on that one? Okay, 199 Magnolia, has that one been cut yet? Or we're just confirming the cost of it, so it has been cut, has been cut. And then same, item number 15 is the 411 Sunny Acres Drive. Okay. Any questions on those, council members?
No.
Thank you. Oh, wait, there's one more. Declaring certain properties a public nuisance and setting a public hearing for June 18, 2024 at 5 p.m. So as of today, that one is still. Okay. Council members, do you have any additional questions on setting this public hearing?
No.
Okay.
That was 206 Plum Street.
All right, item number 17 is the library fiscal 2024-2025 budget. So Ms. Faulkner?
Page 16.
Brenda, do you want?
No, that's the, we didn't, it's the declaring certain properties a public nuisance and setting a public hearing. Yeah.
Do you remember we got that Taco Bell?
As I
You got it on
remember 18.
there? Okay.
As I remember 18.
Okay.
Yes.
We don't
That's the
have,
one that,
we don't have it on the agenda.
It's on the email.
He said he emailed.
Good evening, everyone. You all know me, but for the sake of those in the audience who may not, my name is Christina Faulkner, and I am here as the Ozark County Library Board Treasurer, representing the library community to discuss our proposed budget for fiscal year 24-25, and to request a modest increase in funding to continue our vital work in the community. The Ozark County Library is more than just a repository for books. We are a dynamic hub that provides a wide array of services to our veterans, mentally ill, disabled, homeless, elderly, and Medicare-eligible residents. Our library fulfills the educational and recreational needs of many in our community through a variety of programs and services, as well as serving as a valuable historical and genealogical resource for the county and the state, with access to national documentation through Ancestry.com and numerous other programs. Importantly, we provide all of these services free of charge. To continue our mission, adequate funding is crucial. Our proposed budget for 2024-25 includes a detailed overview of our income sources, such as allocations from the county and city grants from organizations like the United Way and donations from individuals and businesses in our community. Our expenditures are meticulously itemized for your review, showing how we manage resources to offer numerous services and programs. This past year, we identified a need to support homeschooled children and their families. Our new homeschool hangout program addresses this need, connecting nearly 60 individuals during its initial event and consistently attracting 25 to 45 participants each month. This program fosters a sense of community among homeschoolers and provides them with essential educational resources. Additionally, we have expanded our efforts to assist the homeless through the Homeless Connect program and our open access food pantry. These initiatives provide clothing, sleeping materials, and food, building trust and offering essential resources to those in need. We have seen significant success with increasing numbers of volunteers and participants benefiting from these services. Our 2024 summer reading program kicked off today. It is another vital initiative aimed at fostering a love of reading among children in our community. Today alone, we had 74 children attend the session, demonstrating the program's popularity and importance. This program not only enhances literacy skills, but also provides a fun, educational environment for children during the summer months. Through programs like Homeschool Hangout, Homeless Connect, and the Summer Reading Program, we are making a tangible difference by connecting individuals with vital resources and educational opportunities that help them succeed. Our employees, who are the backbone of these programs, have been underpaid for far too long. This year, we propose a cost of living allowance to raise their salaries. While we aim to reach $10 per hour to match local businesses, we are requesting an increase to bring our lowest paid employees to $9 per hour. The city's allocation primarily funds these salaries, and a modest increase in funding is essential to make this adjustment. The library and its board and staff are committed to fiscal responsibility, as demonstrated by our prudent investment with Edward Jones, as suggested by Mayor Blankenship. This investment provides the library with approximately 2 years of operating costs intended to sustain the library in case of a financial catastrophe or an emergency. We are requesting an increase in the annual allocation from the city from $109,253 to $112,603, an increase of just $3,350 or 3%. This increase will partially fund the COLA adjustment for our employees. In conclusion, I urge you to support the Ozark-Dale County Library's mission and invest in its future by approving the requested increase in funding. Your support will ensure we continue providing invaluable services and programs that uplift our community and foster a sense of belonging and opportunity for all residents. Thank you for your time and consideration. Does anyone have any questions?
Kristen, I know I was involved in that investment of that inheritance money. Is this, I couldn't remember what we were taking out. Is that 80,000 going to be per year that we receive out of that?
No, we're not receiving anything annually out of that at this time. We are talking with Mr. Dickens about what's possible for us, and he is supposed to return to us, is it our next board meeting or the one after? No, it'll be July or August. July. He's supposed to return to us in July and let us know what he can do as far as helping us with additional funding. Because this...
So where does this Edward Jones investment income come from? It's listed on here.
That's the interest on certain ones of on certain types of investments that we have with them.
Did
Any other
y'all
questions?
request the county to increase their money?
I'm sorry?
Did y'all request the county to increase their
We
money?
will be requesting the county to increase, yes. Now, Karen, help me with the dates. When's the last time we received an increase from the city?
Here.
Yes.
17.
Okay, so 2017 was our last increase with the city. It was 2014 that we got an increase from the county. Therefore, we are asking the county to provide us with as much an increase as we are asking the city. We feel that that is only fair because the city does provide us with it's 60-40, I believe, was the comparison with how much the city provides to us in funding in the county.
And we gave you a building.
Yeah, we also gave you a property back to help the hospital. So, I mean, it's all give and take, right? Do we have any other questions?
Council members, do you have any additional questions on this request?
Out of this time.
I just want to say, I serve on the United Way board, and one of the people that are on that particular board that goes around to different agencies, they told me, they said that y'all's presentation for that was very, very good, and so kudos to y'all for your Wiregrass United Way presentation for that.
Thank you. We did see an increase from Wiregrass United Way this year as well.
How soon are you all asking for the increase?
We would like for that to go with our 24-25 allocation. But we don't want it right this second.
So it would be on our next year's budget.
Right.
Which would be October.
Yep.
Any other questions from Ms. Walker? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 18 is the request for incentive agreement. Ms. Smith was going to be here.
It's actually set for public hearing.
Setting it for a public hearing. For incentive. Setting it for next meeting, July 2nd.
2 meetings away. we gotta get it advertised in the paper, and we didn't want to advertise it before y'all set the public hearing.
July what?
July 2nd.
Winston, you didn't get yours by email?
What's that?
You didn't get this by email?
You told me I said project, yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah, then it was,
Does anybody need me to explain how this came about?
The Project Crunch that we got, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
project.
It was an email with titled Project Crunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we believe this is going to open up to 2 more parcels being developed fairly soon, plus some things in the actual building, shopping center itself.
So that is the holdup though for Taco Bell, because when we met with him, he said,
No, they're talking like breaking ground next week.
yeah, that's what I thought was gonna be pretty soon.
okay. So that means whenever we go to set the agenda, someone would have to say, I'm setting a public hearing for Project Crunch on July 2nd at 5 o'clock.
What I am making that.
18.
That would be item number 18. Okay. All right, so that being all of our agenda items this evening, I will now go out to, or do we have any department heads in attendance that have any comments or questions on any of the agenda items this evening?
I do. So, talking about budgets, department heads have been working on that the last couple of weeks. And so we actually had a meeting this morning, a staff meeting. Regretted to inform, we were not able to offer all of our capital outlay requests for this year. We are showing a substantial increase in sales tax as far as what we're projecting, but based on the expenses of everything, by the time you take the expenses out, we are still looking at about $1 million in capital outlay improvements and equipment purchases. But there are a lot of needs that are associated with the requests that the departments had. Like I said, regret to inform them this morning that it's probably about another $1 million that they would like to have, but we were not able to put that in the budget for this upcoming year unless grants or something comes along. So as far as the discussion, a couple of items we've talked about was the Chamber of Commerce, and I know that Chamber of Commerce does a great work. Very disappointed that they have not done anything with the building to this point. I know there's a couple of department heads out here that can use that $36,000 in order to make some capital outlay purchases that are needed. And so as far as the library's request also, it's kind of hard to grant that to an outside entity when you've got department heads that unfortunately are going to have to cut some some of the things that they want to purchase for this upcoming year also. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any other department heads in attendance that would like to speak on any agenda items this evening? Okay. Do we have any comments from the floor concerning any of the agenda items this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Winnie Frazier, I just would like to impress upon the mayor and the city council regarding the ADA for Everett Park. There are a lot of students, I know, and I am aware that grants are specific and how we go about getting them. But we do have handicapped children that use that park, and we do need that under consideration. And also, summer is here, that park is really utilized, and I think we need to consider having the asphalt taken a look at, because it is utilized and we don't need a liability for the city in case something happens for some of those children down there during the summer.
Thank you so much, Ms. Frazier. Is there anyone else in attendance? Yes, sir.
Madam President, Brian Fontenot, Ozark, Alabama. City Council, the agenda item for the M68-3 tank is a noble effort. This is an aviation community. I'm a lifelong aviator, but I've had a couple of combat tours on the ground. Aviators, in not a few circumstances, are back in the rear having tea and warm raisin bread, and the armor formations are forward. I want to talk to you about what happened here in Ozark, Alabama. There are two environments in a tank. There's dust and mud. There's no other environment. These were fighters. In its time, this tank unit has fielded every tank from the N-48 to the venerable M1A1 Abrams. And at that time was the longest serving tank formation afield since World War I. That's significant because we have 3 compos in our military, Compo 1, 2, and 3. This is a Compo 2 National Guard formation. And for it to compete and remain afield for that length of time, I think deserves everything that you're asked to provide for that. Thank you, Madam President.
Do we have anyone else that would like to speak on any of the agenda items this evening? Yes, sir.
I'd like to speak on item number 16, which is declaring a public nuisance,
Yes, sir.
and talk about the policy and the procedure that the city has in reference to doing something like that. That happens to be a 3-bedroom brick home located over there on the corner by where the church was torn down 3 years ago. So right now, obviously, it's been abandoned, okay? And you can tell because of the way it's falling down in the yards and stuff. So right now, I'm also being told that the city compliance officer is taking bids to have the property demoed. Once you demo that property, you add a cost to the value of that land. For instance, right now, the land has a value of $4,500. If it costs the city $5,000 or $6,000 to tear down that property and clear that lot, that lien goes against the value of that property. Now suddenly it's going to cost somebody to buy that property, which has a value of $4,500. It's going to cost you $12,000 or $14,000, $15,000 to buy the property because of the lien. That property's not going to get bought like that. So now the city's going to have to mow that property from entire to whenever they stop getting into mowing business. We need to have a better plan on how to deal with demo properties. There should be a way that the city lawyer gets involved. It's difficult to find these people who are responsible for those properties. I've been trying to get a piece of property for over 3 years. I know it's tied up, not in court, but it's tied up with the people who own the property. There's 3 different people that can't get together and whatever. But I use the property right next door to it, also illustrate the same point. Right next door is where they tore down that church 3 years ago. Okay? The property, after the church was torn down, it went into foreclosure. That property was bought at a foreclosure sale for less than $20,000. But it came with a $33,000 property demo lien against it that the city put against it. Now you have a piece of property that was worth $15,000, but now it costs you almost $60,000 to own the property. So if that property had not been bought at foreclosure sale, then you got a situation now where half of it can be mowed, but the part where the church was can't be mowed with a machine. It has to be mowed by hand because of the rocks and all that stuff that's left in there. So this is a problem that the city has that is perpetrating itself to continue. We need a better plan on the handle property that's been abandoned.
Can I address that?
Thank you, Mr. Harry.
Yes, it is a drastic problem, and it's been a problem forever. There is not a better solution. I wish there was. I have researched it. I have contacted the local, county as far as how they don't want us to do that either because it causes more work for them. I wish if you find a better way, please let me know. I would be glad to incorporate it. I have contacted clerks all over as far as how they have handled that exact same problem. There is no other way in order to file against that property once that property has been, declared a public nuisance or, the weedlings have been cut.
Let me ask Joe Adams. Joe, is there a way that the law can get involved where the city takes control of their property and then auction off that property to somebody else's responsibility?
Mr. Adams?
The city the city can buy the property at the tax sale. What you're talking about now is the cost of the demolition, and that is by statute, by the Alabama legislature, giving the cities the right to place the cost on the tax rolls, okay? At that point, the city can do what a private citizen can do. The city can buy it if they want to, and the city would have the same problems that a private property owner would have, because ultimately, you want to get rid of it, you want to sell it. So the city buying it back at a tax sale, I don't know that it would accomplish anything. The city has bought some properties some years back, and you know, they ultimately sold them. Whether they made a profit or not, I don't really know. But on some of the ones you're talking about there, the city would be faced with those same statistics, those same figures that anyone else would be faced with.
The only solution to that is to get in front of the problem rather than to have the demolition take place. Take control of rehabbing the property, make it back usable. The city could get involved some way in doing that. Then, because you're losing money every day as you reclaim property. It's a lose-lose situation.
I understand that, but then you're asking the city to get involved in private real estate. And so now that may be something that a future city council may think a profitable venture, but you're creating one problem without fixing the other. Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from the floor regarding any of the agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
Wendy Fraser, just want to speak to that issue regarding the property. I think I spoke to the council several months ago regarding that, and my concern is that we are now creating, and I don't know a solution, and I'm with you, Chris, I don't know how you can handle it, but I do know that there are neighborhoods where we're creating land deserts, and that's what I'm calling them, where you have houses that are being torn down in neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods are being devastated because the properties are gone, the values of the homes are going down because you've got all of these vacant lots that are there. So I don't know a solution, but I do know if there's anything that we could possibly consider. That way we don't have neighborhoods that are dying.
Thank you.
Let me respond to that. That may be true in some cases, but I can give you two. One where we're about to have a new funeral home built, and another one where there's a contract for a $502,000 addition onto the dentist office since we got rid of the abandoned house.
But too, though, and I'd ask Director Ward to give some input. Aren't some of the abandoned properties that we've taken down have been havens for drug people going in? And I mean, I've seen disgusting pictures.
Yeah, that is a problem. That squatters and homeless and just a lot of illegal activities going on in a lot of it. And so from our point, yes, I understand their side, but it just creates more problem for us on the criminal element side around town.
And I believe that's what we were trying to negate, was the criminal activity.
The city does have a small plan to help. I want to make sure everybody knows about that. Because if you're going to rehab a piece of property, working with the city council, you can get the Ozark City sales tax eliminated from the cost. So that's all you got out of this whole plan.
Yes, that's economic development. Thank you so much. Okay, are there any other comments from the floor on any of the agenda items this evening? Okay, are there any comments from the floor on any subject in particular? Yes, ma'am?
Well, let's start again. Good evening. My name is Brittany Galland, and I live at 3215 North Union Avenue here in Ozark. Good evening. I'm here today on behalf of the Dale County 200 Committee. I'm here this evening to share exciting news about our year-long bicentennial celebration project, which you may have already heard of, a commemorative Dale County cookbook. This cookbook will be a delicious tribute to our county's 200th birthday, showcasing the rich cultural tapestry that makes Dale County so special. We're currently accepting recipe submissions from all corners of Dale County. As you know, Fort Nova celebrates a unique international flavor to our community, and we want the cookbook to reflect that. We're looking for recipes from all backgrounds, cultural specialties, food truck favorites, hidden gems from local restaurants, and even signature dishes from prominent community members not unlike yourselves. We envision this cookbook becoming a cherished heirloom passed down through the generations. It's a chance to share our culinary stories and traditions with future Dale Countians, like my son, who will be here in November of this year. Okay. Yes. I've already provided each of you, with a recipe card, so you can submit your recipe for consideration for the yearbook, as we're only, cookbook, as we're only accepting 200 of them for the 200th birthday. And I have extras for anyone in attendance who may also be interested in receiving one. We're accepting recipes through the end of July. It's a maximum of 200 recipes. And the cookbook, it's our hope that the cookbook will be first available for purchase by Claybank of this year. We encourage everyone to participate, and let's just create a rich recipe book that not only details the heritage of Dale County's past, but looks ahead to its future. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
And that, I'm sorry, Ms. Gallo, that is part of the Dale County 200
Yes.
bicentennial. Okay, that's what. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else in attendance that has any comments or questions on any subject in particular? Okay, so with that, I will go to final comments from the mayor.
Okay, I want to go back to the tank thing a minute. Are y'all okay with us just picking one of those 3 locations without having to vote?
One of those 3.
So the north and the south, where's the third one?
Oh,
Military.
I'm sorry.
Military.
but you said it requires a resolution. But it's required in a resolution.
No, the resolution doesn't require the location. We just got a list of location on the paperwork.
Okay.
The resolution doesn't have.
I'm sorry, you said 3, and I knew you talked about 2, but you reminded me of the mural, I'm sorry. My bad.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if we're gonna have this static display, a lot of cities, they have what we call a veterans park. You know, I would like to see something improved. It may not can do it from the start, but something improved to that particular point, whereby veterans would be proud, you know, not just a tank sitting out there, but perhaps, you know, somewhat of a veteran park. I mean, I've seen one in, even Abbeville has a nice one over there to show you. And they're not taking as much sales tax as we are. But we've seen one in Dothan, in Enterprise. That's considered making a nice park of sorts. Not just the tank sitting out there alone. Something that veterans will be proud of. Thank you.
All right, the other thing is our baby box unveiling. Christina and Michelle, I want to make sure y'all are on top of that on the 24th. Our project here, the dirt cheap building, they're moving along very well on that. And the guys out there told me it looks like it's going to be sometime in September when they have that ready. So that's going to be a great addition for Ozark. Don't forget our line dancing event on June 14th. The industrial park up north of town, if you haven't been up there to look at that, you need to go check it out. We're basically down to burning a few piles, and then we'll have the sign to put up. I mentioned to y'all last meeting we were going to start sending out, working with the utility board on new customers that people are moving from out of town, and we're going to send them a letter. We started that last week. We sent out 20 letters, and that's to people that you know, we're just letting them know some of the things that's available in Ozark, you know, Crawdad, Claybank, everything Ozark, where they can go on and, you know, keep up with what's going on, but we think it's gonna be a good thing. The Villages subdivision, I mentioned, north of town on 123, they have bought that, they've already working on a new sign, landscaping, they're gonna start Monday clearing the lots. We're working with them on the residential incentive policy that we approved when we first went into office. So they will be trying to buy local to where they can get refunded back the non-educational part of that sales tax. So that's going to work out well. Sunday afternoon at 2, Holly and I will be making a presentation together that's on the future of Ozark and Dale County, as how we see things are going. It's the last day of the Smithsonian display, so we'll be there doing that. Love for y'all to come if you can. Ozark 101 starts tomorrow. You should have paperwork on that. Our Ozark Building Supply Project on Warwick Park Road that we did 2 years ago, it'll be 2 years ago, the 14th. He is ready to write us a check. He's in the middle of providing us all the paperwork on what he invested and that kind of thing. Place looks great. He did a super job on that. But I think it's $73,000 or $4,000 that we'll be receiving on that, probably on about the 15th. Tomorrow we got the lighting and HVAC walkthrough at the Civic Center. We also got the stage and sound kickoff where we're going to walk through and talk about how all that'll be done. And I know y'all probably been watching the Garner property venue. We don't have a name for that yet, so I don't know what to call it other than that. So it's going very, very well. And the farmers market last week and this week was a big hit. The farmers seem to be really pleased with the turnout. So I think that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Enfinger?
Thank you.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes, Mayor, how are we coming along with the elevator at the Civic Center? Because we received some complaints.
We are struggling. We cannot find anybody that's got parts for it. We're looking at trying to replace what is there, but we talked to Otis yesterday trying to get prices up on it. But the equipment that we need to fix it, the company charged us $800 or $900, $980 just to come out and tell us that it couldn't be repaired.
Yeah. I'd also like to commend the library for coming forward and speaking to us concerning their budget. We have a nice group of people from what I can see representing the library, so I'm thankful for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, echo the Dale County 200 at the Ann Road Art Center. I went by there today after lunch. We went there, and that's just a great display they have on there of history over the years, and recommend anybody to stop by there and check it out, especially Sunday with the mayor and Holly kind of giving an economic update and stuff for our area here. So y'all go and check it out.
Councilwoman Crawford?
No, I'm good, thank you. They've already said everything
Thank
I wanted to
you.
say.
Y'all said a lot. Okay.
I happened to look up the meeting requirements as far as the Attorney General suggests that for any special call meeting, at least 24 hours notice is all that's required. Now, that doesn't give us a whole lot of time to get the notice out to the public, so but a little bit longer won't be much granted. 24 hours is all that's required.
Okay, so then, can I make the suggestion that council members send some sort of availability to the mayor so that at least we can know, and we're not sitting there going, I can't make that meeting, I can make this meeting, so that we know, and then we just kind of schedule with the
Well,
school board.
you need to get with the school board.
The school board does have-
They got to do the same thing.
Yeah, and so I would say the mayor and the superintendent can schedule it out.
We'll work on their schedule. I don't know when they regular meeting.
They have already met the first time, no, this is the beginning of the month.
They're meeting tomorrow, Thursday, this
Yeah.
week.
So,
And that was my suggestion, some of these teachers are on 12 months. I guess particularly those in the central office. So it might be good to just schedule the meeting in conjunction with either the normal school board meeting time or the city council meeting time. We could have it at 4, as opposed, and start our council meeting at 5. Now, those are just some suggestions.
okay, thank you. Okay, so with that, I will call this meeting to a close, and we'll begin our next meeting in 3 minutes. Thank you. All right, I call this meeting of the City Council of Ozark to order.
I actually gave the letter of the day.
Hi, excuse me. Thank you. We will begin the meeting with the prayer led by Councilman Jackson and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Blankenship.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness and your loving kindness. Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless each and every one of us. Bless us that we may do the business of the city and the officials as the citizens desire of us. Heavenly Father, we ask you to help lift us up in each and everything we do, knowing that if we do your will, then everything will be all right. Bless us and keep us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, we will review the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on May 21st, 2024. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that we approve the minutes from the May 21st council meeting, move this approval.
Thank you. I do have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on approving the minutes from the council meeting? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 4 is to set the agenda for this evening. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I make a motion to set the agenda with the addition of the Project Crunch public hearing set for July 2nd.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
We need to take out the school board too.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna table it?
What table? So I made it a separate then, a separate one? Or do
You're setting the agenda, so you.
Okay, I will make a motion that we table the Board of Education appointment and add the Project Crunch public hearing for July 2nd.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on setting the agenda as amended? All in favor of setting the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll vote.
Okay. Motion passes. Okay. Item number 5 is a tree board appointment. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that we appoint Victoria Ham to replace Ryan Campbell on the tree board.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this board appointment? All in favor of the tree board appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 6 is an authorization for the mayor to execute a grant with the Alabama Tourism Department. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that we authorize the mayor to execute a grant with the Alabama Tourism Department for the Crawdad Festival.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this authorization? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm not sure. Chris?
That was discussion time.
Okay. I think I have to abstain because we are my company financially benefits from the Crawdad Festival. Our entertainment company,
So,
does that,
well,
I mean,
to bring it up, I guess.
that's why I'm not sure if I get to
Yeah,
abstain.
if you go back to the rules of the city council that was put in motion in 2016, nobody has the right to abstain from anything.
Well, I have an economic interest in that, so that's why I was
Doesn't
wondering.
matter.
I don't want an ethical charge.
I get it. But according to the rules that was set by the city council,
Right.
2016, and then 2020, when Mark came into office and the city council took that into consideration and voted on in the 2016 order of procedure, it states that everybody will vote.
So how do you avoid an ethical violation?
Yeah, I
I mean, I'm not gonna say no because I want it to happen, but
Do it.
if I can vote yes, and then somebody can say,
You can
well,
abstain.
I financially benefited from that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, according to that, and it probably needs to be adjusted.
I think we need to adjust
I don't remember it being worded. I don't remember.
We've
it
had
being
plenty of
worded like that.
extensions.
Because we've always,
I mean,
if
Mr.
there's a
Joe,
conflict,
I mean-
you didn't vote.
Mr.
And
Adams.
Mr. Jackson abstains all the time. so.
Oh, not all the time.
Okay.
Look, if I did it all the time, if I did it all the time. wait,
Okay, so
no,
hold on
not
one
all the
second,
time.
everybody, Mr. Adams.
All right, Chris pointed this out to me just a few days ago. I recommend that we make that change because you're right that you can't vote on anything you're financially interested in. That is a violation of the ethics law. So certainly the council's not going to make you violate the law. So, I mean, you could vote no, but that defeats the purpose. So I recommend that we change to say that people can abstain for that reason, for a financial reason, financial benefit. But it would be a violation of law. So at this time, I think it's something that you're gonna have to say, I abstain, because you can't say otherwise.
Or vote no.
But it's not gaining, it's
I
not
don't think
gaining
she's
from
called upon to
the
vote
grant
no, but
itself.
I really don't.
Well, my husband's booking company does. If any bands that he helps Ozzy,
No,
we financially gain that because we.
You're a business doing a function that happens to go on. This money is not directed towards you specifically. You're getting paid for it for
It's
doing
towards
a
the
service.
entertainment, yeah.
But to me, you're not gaining specifically from that money.
But
That money is being used to pay for the entertainment. My husband's company
Yes.
schedules the
Yes. it's
schedules
just-
the entertainment,
that's-
and we receive funds to pay for the entertainment from that grant. So I do
also would
personally
say-
benefit from the
okay,
grant.
I also would say that we are taught at our trainings that it is better to always err on the side of caution in abstention situations. So, and even though it is, I will even, if this can come down on my head, if so, because we're in an official meeting, I would say if, I believe there would be a precedent. If each one of us as council members feels that there is an abstention, whether or not it is written in our rules of procedure, which we can address in the future, I believe we are covered for ethical purposes for our past voting or voting that you may do right now. And then it is because, but now that it's been brought to our attention, we can address that in the future. So I would say if you feel that that is what you would like to do, then do so. And I believe that will cover you. And then even though it is written in our rules of procedure, we just know that we need to address that for that, so that we will be covered.
Madam President, the reason for this, for having to vote on any thing, and like I say, I don't think it was intended to have the financial interest to be voted upon, but if we eliminate that, the reason that the state legislature did this, and the reason that it was pushed by the legal municipalities, is so many people on councils were just abstaining for almost no reason. They knew somebody, this was a friend, that was a neighbor, and you can't, those are not things that if you're elected to this body, sometimes you have to make hard decisions, even though it might be your next door neighbor. But what I'm saying is that there were so many people all over the state where councils could not even get a vote. And that's why the law is that you have to, that city councils were given the right to adopt that procedure where people have to vote, and that's what y'all did. But it's nothing new. It's like I say, I think Chris traced it back to at least one former administration. But that was the reason.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Yeah, you can always vote no.
Mr. You can vote no.
and
I don't want to.
I never owned a business and I never have benefited directly.
I do not want to
Okay.
vote no.
So,
I abstain.
so with that,
One no
motion
vote wouldn't make it not
passes.
bad.
You just said I could.
Okay, that's okay, we just said motion passes. Okay,
And then
item
I'll
number
stop
7
now.
is an authorization for the mayor to execute a grant with EDECA for the ADA playground. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I introduce, authorize the mayor to execute a grant, ADECA playground, and move this approval.
Thank you, I have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this authorization? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye. All, any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 9 is a resolution for a grant with EDECA for tennis courts. What are the wishes of the council?
You got it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Madam President, introduce a resolution for the grant for the DECA for the tennis courts at Stigall Park.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 9 is the renewal of a contract with the Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that we approve the renewal of contract with Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this approval? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 10 is a resolution of a static display of an M60A3 tank.
That's 11. You said 10.
It is number 10.
It's 10.
It is 10.
We took it.
We moved everything, yes. For a static display. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I introduce a resolution for the static display of the M60A3 tank. Move for its adoption.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor of passing the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 11 is a resolution for the airport improvement funding assistance with ALDOT. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I introduce a resolution for the airport improvement funding assistance, ALDOT, and move for its adoption.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 12 is an authorization for the mayor to sign a contract for the corporate hangar. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I authorize the mayor to sign a contract for corporate hangar lease for 5 years with bonding small.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion on this authorization? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 13 is to confirm the cost of a weed lane at 199 Magnolia Street. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, introduce a resolution confirming the cost of a weed lane at 199 Magnolia Street, move for introduction.
Thank you. I do have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 14 is confirming the cost of a weed lien. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I introduce a resolution confirming the cost of a weed lien of 411 Sunny Acres and move for its adoption.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 15 is a resolution declaring certain properties a public nuisance and setting a public hearing. What are the wishes of the council?
I introduce a resolution declaring certain properties a public nuisance, and we set a public hearing for June the 18th of 2024 at 5 o'clock. I was going to put the address, but concerning 206 Plum Street.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 16 was a presentation of the fiscal year 2024-25 budget. Is there any motion on any sort of motion to go with item number 16?
Well, are we approving their budget, or do we need to approve it or approve?
We don't have to approve their budget since it was just a
Are
presentation.
we supposed to approve the increase, is what I'm asking?
Someone would have to make a motion to do that.
Do the increase, the 3,000.
3,000.
So yeah, if someone would like to make a motion at this time.
Madam President, I move that we approve the library funding up to 112,000. Some 600 and something dollars.
To approve the request, okay,
For an increase in the library budget, that
Okay.
3,000.
for fiscal 24-25. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on approving the request for the increase? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion passes. Item number 7 is to set a public hearing on Project Church on July 2nd at 5 p.m. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that we set a public hearing on July the 2nd, 2024 for Project Crunch.
Did I say church? I'm sorry, Project Crunch. I just can't remember.
We do.
Yeah, thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion on setting the public hearing? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Please note number 18 is a court report. Item number 19 is a financial report for you. So I'll go to final comments there.
I can't remember if I mentioned it to y'all, but we are partnering with Fort Nova Sale on July 3rd at their Freedom Fest as a part of the 200th anniversary. So we're going to be doing a little presentation out there, and it's kind of the history of the connection between Dale County and Fort Nova Sale. It's really interesting little thing put together there. But
Is it going to be an actual presentation? Is it going to be a display, or is it?
some of all of the above.
Okay. I just didn't know if it was something that we needed to schedule in to be there at a certain time, or will you give us just more details next
If
time?
you can be there, it would be nice, because what they're going to do is I'm just going to give a little welcome, thank them for doing it, and then,
Melissa with the Dale County Extension
Yes.
is actually going to go up and speak and kind of give a little speech about the Dale County Fort Nova Sale connection, going back to the origins. So she's I've given her some notes, and Joni's helped us with it, and Melissa's putting it all together. She'll actually submit a draft.
I guess the question is, will she do the speech at 4 o'clock or?
Yeah, I
Five?
guess.
At the opening ceremony, I'm not sure the time of it, but when they do that opening ceremony, and they welcome everybody, they'll have the mayor out there, and they'll bring Melissa up. That kind of kicks off the event, so I'm assuming it's at 4.
You're just gonna have to get there and stay all day.
Yeah, just keep us in the loop on that, okay? All right, what else, Mayor?
That's it.
Okay. Councilman Eddinger? Councilman Jackson?
No.
Councilman Pearl?
Good.
Councilwoman Harlow?
I'm fine.
Okay, and no final reports from me. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you. I do have a motion. Do I have a second? Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I call this meeting to a close.